Welcome to another episode of Dxtalks and Cryptotalks. We're super happy to be here. It's another exciting episode this week. And as the guests or participants are coming in, don't forget to share this episode, like, and then comment with whatever is your questions. Today we have an interesting guest with us today. So we'll be introducing him in few seconds, and then later on Tay will join us to continue our normal episode. So with that, without any further ado, let me welcome Oliver von Wolff, CEO and co-founder of Helion Ventures. Welcome to Dxtalks. Welcome to this platform.
Yeah, hi, thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's a pleasure. So looking forward to our...
Can you introduce yourself to our audience, and can you introduce Helion Ventures and what you guys do?
Yeah, actually, myself, I'm Oliver. I'm originally from Germany. I'm in Dubai most likely since 99. Back in Dubai since 2019. And as already introduced, I'm co-founder and CEO of Helion Ventures. Helion Ventures is a venture builder, in-house studio for startups from the blockchain and crypto space. Yeah, we got established last year, and we are located in the DIFC and regulated by the DIFC in Dubai. In a nutshell.
In a nutshell, indeed.
Yes.
The DIFC is an interesting name to be regulated in. It's not any place because we know how things are and how tough with the IFC and the FSA. It's not easy to be affiliated with them. So congrats on being affiliated with that. And DFIC is one of the leading actually ecosystems in the world for such companies. And that brings me to my question is, can you tell us a little bit on the investment scene in UAE in general, Dubai in specific, or the region? Because we are seeing now a flood from possibly all over the world coming to the region. Can you brief us a little bit? What are you seeing from people approaching you or thinking about some of the investments or
Maybe first to the DIFC. When I came back to Dubai 2019 for a company in Germany, we were number 3 in Europe, issuing a full regulated Bitcoin ETN to the German stock market, to the Xetra. And I was the first one sitting in the DFSA and asked for a dual listing of a Bitcoin ETF product to the Nasdaq. So if I was there and start talking about, okay, we have a regulated product in Frankfurt on the Xetra, and we would like to make a dual listing on the Nasdaq in Dubai, they were all very happy and said, that's no problem. So, and then when it came to the point to ask, what kind of product is it? And I said, okay, it's a Bitcoin ETN. So they were all a bit, you saw the faces, because it's something what they not expected. So if I compare the DIFC today from the DIFC 2019, I would say they have a huge challenge behind them. They have invested in a lot of people in know-how, and today I would say the DIFC is one of the main hotspots in Dubai or in the UAE for blockchain and crypto company, or for fintechs in generally. So I think the DIFC have made here a great job, and if I see what kind of events they're planning, what they're doing, that's really great. Yeah, and I really enjoy that we are regulated in the DIFC. It's very, the service is good, things are going fast, and you cannot compare the DIFC today to the DIFC like 2 or 3 years ago. Ecosystem in Dubai is a bit different as the ecosystem maybe in GCC. So what we have in Dubai is an ecosystem which is most likely driven by companies and founders who coming from the rest of the world to Dubai. Yeah, because Dubai is providing infrastructure, capital, and since nowadays, or since, let's say, since COVID, a lot of human capital is coming inside of Dubai, a lot of qualified people. And of course, also Dubai is taking advantage of the rest, or let's say the rest of the world not doing well, especially in Europe. And we see at the moment the founders who coming inside of Dubai, they're not coming only for tax reasons. They're really coming because they want to create something. They are founders, they have a vision, and they think that Dubai is the right place to continue the success story of their vision. And I think that's a very big difference, like if you compare today to like 2 or 3 years ago.
Very interesting. I think the ecosystem itself is advancing. Maturity of the scene. Now we're looking. I think everybody is also looking on Saudi market now. So it's not just UAE. It's not just the Gulf. The Saudi market is very promising. I don't know if you have any outlook on this.
Yeah, I've been to the Leap this year in Saudi, and I met a lot of startups. And the ecosystem in Saudi compared to Dubai is completely different. So the ecosystem in Saudi works like that really like companies from MENA region or Saudi entrepreneurs presenting their products there. They don't have this outside in move, of companies and founders. They have real founders outside or like inside of Saudi who looking for exposure outside of Saudi. So it's just vice versa ecosystem. And that's very nice to see because it means that the Saudi ecosystem is growing naturally, with like really projects which coming out of Saudi, and this gives Saudi a lot of attraction. Also consider let's say the new global situation where Saudi is part of BRICS. So we see already today. I mean, we have been Helion Ventures has partnership with Cyberport in Hong Kong. We have partnership, for example, also with partners in Singapore. Yeah. So, and we see more and more that this line, let's say, between GCC, Saudi, and Southeast Asia is getting more and more important. Yeah, because this is a very stable, let's say, economic environment at the moment. Yeah, and it gives huge exposure to startups, especially of raising funds and getting market entrance to the global markets.
Indeed. So don't forget to subscribe. So with that, it leaves us, what is Helion working on, Helion Ventures? And then you've been leading this for a couple of years now. I don't want secrets, of course. I love secrets, Oliver. But what are you working on? I'm sure there's a lot of things happening in the market. You get approached by quite a lot of ideas, ventures, or actually startups, or even mature companies. Before jumping, what are you working on? What's your selection criteria so that people may be watching today, they want to pitch to you? Or is there also a mechanism? How can they approach? What is the channels? And then we'll go on what are you actually trying to do?
I mean, also Helion Ventures, at least in my opinion, is still like we have the startup mentality and also facing startup problems. Yeah, one of this problem is you always should hire more people as you have budget for it. So what we did, we took our kind of AI scoring for our projects which are coming in. So every project which comes in is getting in a kind of AI scoring, and after it gets sorted manually, followed up by then like a first due diligence. So we get a lot of projects actually from the MENA region, from the ecosystem. What is very nice to see that we have the really still, even in a bear market, like moving forward situation. And the quality of the project actually got also quite good. So we most likely focused on projects which are at the moment established on the market, which have a positive or even like a positive cash flow already. And these are the projects where we normally, as a VC, would never get in a bullish market. So the bear market is good for us because we getting access to projects and founders and companies now when it's like really in still very early for them, early stage, but they're already like in a maybe a round of seeding funds and so on. So that's, I think, I would say, is the biggest opportunity at the moment for VC companies.
And what about internally? What are you trying to, create or achieve? Every company has something to really achieve. And what is your focus?
So we are most likely focused at the moment to make our infrastructure more efficient. Yeah. So this includes internal structure and external structure. We work very strong on our partnership network, especially in GCC and also Southeast Asia. But today I also had a very nice call with some VCs from Africa. Yeah, we also still focused on Africa, not Africa only MENA region, also like most likely East Africa. There's also a lot of things going on in which we are interested in. So let's say the focus for the second half of year is most likely of settling our ecosystem, like partnerships, yeah, and also getting finalizing our fundraising round.
Very interesting. And you mentioned fundraising because, as you mentioned, I think you're also working on a startup mentality, which is great entry, and the way it is formulated into this. What do you think, in your opinion, now? Because you've been in the market, especially in UAE, what are the elements of success in the UAE to service the UAE market or the regional market? And what is currently being deployed? And then, because there's a lot of startups that are not really solving anything, they're just there to raise money and then get away. But what are the real solutions or the actual problems or the actual applications that you are looking for?
Yeah, actually, wait on 1 second. I have here some calls coming in. I forgot to switch this off. I mean, a lot of people from outside, they think they're just coming to, or put it a different way, people coming to Dubai or to GCC and they see all this money and all these big cars and fancy things going on. Yeah, the reality is the market in GCC is a very conservative market. And investors from, or let's say locals, and most likely local investors, they're very conservative before they really coming to the point to invest in a project or investing in a company. So you need let's say a long brief in Dubai. It means you have to be established in Dubai. You have to be really the feet on the ground in Dubai. Yeah, and then still it's a period of like 1 or 2 years until people starting to trust you and getting in a conversation with you about investings. So I would say that's a lot of, especially people from Europe or from the US, they think they just come and they do some introductions and have some meetings and then everything is going easily. But the market is not like this. It's a bit different from money who comes outside of the UAE to the UAE. Yeah, this money is maybe not so much risk averse. Yeah, but still you have to do your homework. And nowadays everyone, let's say, he wanna invest like in a proper infrastructure of a company. Yeah, and I think that's the most important thing if you come to Dubai.
Very interesting. So I'm just displaying now down here. This is Helion Ventures website. Do join, and then you can apply online to, if you have a startup, to get some funding or possibility for your file to be studied, and then be part of the beauty of this also startup mentality, because I think startup mentality is a key today to be agile, right?
Yes,
It's not just any normal.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's a big kind of difference from Helion Ventures maybe to other ones. So we're not just deploying money to companies. We're not like a classical VC. Yeah, we're only investing when the company is really making sense, or let's say when we can add additional value to the project from the project side, but also from the investor side. So actually, we believe not only the banking is like in a kind of restructuring, also the VC market is in a change. And we see this by all the VCs who have been invested in the bullish market. Today, the most of them, they are not even able to name or to manage all their tokens investments, yeah. Because it was easy to invest in a bullish market, now we have a bear market, and actually Helion Venture is more or less very interested in maintenance the investments. It means we have it in our due diligence, we're already looking inside, okay, where Helion Ventures and the team can really add additional value to the project, yeah, so that we can raise additional value as well for the portfolio and for the investors. So I think that's also like a kind of different.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful mentality so that we can, move forward. And then especially being in UAE, such an agile environment, I think it helps. Any last words before we move on to our segment? Any recommendations you'd like to share? I think it's your call. It's your segment.
Oh, yes. I mean, we are always very happy about project applications. Unfortunately, most likely we have to say no, not because the projects are not good. It's just it doesn't fit to our portfolio allocation. Yeah, but principally, we are very much interested in projects which coming out of the ecosystem here in GCC. Yeah, and we love to take a deeper look in it. And we also very much, let's say, supporting projects, let's say, giving them tips and no advices, that's wrong, but giving them tips, how to establish what to do, for what to look, or just giving them the right people on the hand then, yeah, if we are not interested in. And we are very happy to do this. So if you have any case, you're very welcome to visit us in our office in the DIFC, yeah, Bushtaman Tower. So, and yeah, otherwise, Woody, thank you very much for your time and for this great opportunity here to talk today. And I would really love also, if you have time, come to visit. I'm back in September in Dubai, so very happy coming to the office, and let's have a coffee.
Definitely. But we have one last question available from the audience. I don't know if this is too general for you to answer or any ticket general cap. I think this is very not solid question, but very general question. I don't know if you want to.
No, I think it's a very.
How is your strategy?
Yeah, it's a very. I was good. I think it's a very good question because we most likely investing in equity, and in equity for early stage companies, I would say the minimum ticket size is between 250 and 500,000 US dollar. Yeah. For token investments, what we're not doing at the moment, I would say ticket size is between 50 and 100,000 US dollar.
Yeah. I don't know. We have a question is, how was your visit to Lebanon? Was it fruitful? Was there any possible
very nice event there, yes. Yeah, we had a very nice event in the digital district there with the authorities and some startups. Yeah, and I think Lebanon is a place where you have a lot of human capital. Yeah, and I really look forward to getting more projects from there. Yeah. But as most Lebanese, they're all interested of moving out, was my impression. Yeah. But principally, I really like the Lebanese people because they're very entrepreneurial and they're very looking forward to do something. And that's a very good, let's say, habit to be successful.
Indeed, and I hope you can provide something for them to stay and then empower their communities. With that, I'd like to thank you.
District, yeah, this digital district is already like a very good thing because you have like a government, university, you have startups, you have corporates, everything on a governance, all in one place. Yeah, in this couple buildings, and I think that's already a very good, let's say, institution for Lebanon of bringing talents and ideas to like developing to a business idea.
Indeed. So don't forget to visit Helion Ventures, and thank you, Oliver, for being with us, and see you soon on the ground. I know you work hard on the ground. I see you all over, like me, trying to take over the scene.
Thank you so
in terms
much.
of.
Thank you so much, Rudy. Have a nice day and enjoy the rest. Yeah.
Have a good one.
Bye bye. See you in Dubai.
Thank you. See you soon. So don't forget, by the way, we are selected as top 50 podcast. We are happy to be selected on this as a top 50 podcast, and we're super. This is episode 187, so we're just on there trying to provide more and more. And don't forget to join our second MENA top 25 women in fintech and blockchain in AI. It's something very interesting. We would love to have your support, and support Maymoon. Let's check on Tay. Let me see. Tay is there. Hi, Tay. How are you doing? Microphone on.
تحياتي لك رودي. Good afternoon everyone. How are you doing?
Excellent, excellent. We just had Oliver. Some tips on investment, some tips on startups, what's happening in UAE, some very interesting information we were able to gather, what's interesting in the scene and what they are interested in. So, what do you think about Top 50 podcast?
Yeah, I think it's great news. And I believe as well, as we are approaching the end of the year, there will be more and more listeners coming to check what's the status of crypto from now till end of the year, and as well the Bitcoin halving that we are all waiting in April, May 2024. So hopefully those events will bring more listeners and we can add more value to the crypto people in MENA region.
I hope you have some extra news on the halving of last week. I don't know if you followed it. And
No,
then there's any.
nothing happened, to be honest. From a price perspective, at least Rudy, Litecoin is still trading 83 to $82. It was a very I don't want to say disappointing, but was a boring party, as they say. Nothing much happened. Maybe Bitcoin would follow the same trajectory. I mean, it could be a boring party as well in the next halving. Nothing is guaranteed that there will be a spike in price or a bull run, but the demand on Bitcoin is much more higher than Litecoin, of course, with the
Definitely.
market cap
But
and use cases and everything else.
I'm receiving a question which I see very often now. Bitcoin halving is happening. The price is dropping from 6.x to 3.x. But that is not very incentivizing for the miners. What is your take on this?
True, miners, there will be a certain cost that miners will have to abide to in relation to the price of Bitcoin. So, price of Bitcoin, if it reaches, let's say, I'm not sure of the thresholds or the numbers now, but let's give a hypothetical number. If it reaches $100, then will the miner be profitable? Yes or no? That depends much on the real Bitcoin price. So. We saw that happen in 2020 in the first COVID wave. Miners had to shut down because the Bitcoin price went down to $4,000, which many were not able to support and sustain. So they had to take loans. They had to even sell part of their stash in order to continue operations. The coming halving is significant because after this halving, like 8 years from now, we will be mining approximately 1 Bitcoin per block. So 12 years from now, we will be mining half a Bitcoin per block. So almost like 0.6, 0.7 BTC. So
So if the price is not right,
if
we're
the
gonna be
price
having a problem.
Exactly. If the price is, I wouldn't say it's a problem. I would say it's a challenge for miners to continue their expensive operations. Keep in mind that
Challenge, right?
Isaac chips as well are continuously being baked or being produced in the market. So we expect as well that the pricing of these miners to be reduced with more computational power. So if we compare the computation, the price of computational power of Bitcoin in 2018, in 2014, and the years before, compare it to today, it's getting cheaper and cheaper because technology is advancing, and we are having a basically cheaper miner.
Very
But
interesting.
miners will still make money out of transaction fees. So
Yeah,
there's
that's
always the
the most important part.
incentive model for them is always to mine so that they can benefit from the transaction fees.
Indeed. So let's start our episode. So we just had our special guest, Oliver Van Wolff, from Helion Ventures. It was an interesting discussion. If you didn't check it, please do check the first part. It is quite interesting to understand the ecosystem of investing in UAE. So, as usual, crypto fraud is something that we are very keen on trying to help. I received a couple of screenshots, which I'll share next week, about some frauds, phishing target attacks that we received using the email. I think this is very active method. Same thing on Twitter or X now, trying to target messages or tags or whatever. So be careful. We received also one screenshot from somebody, because now with Instagram, your account can be verified and you can pay for that. But we received the same person with the same identity. I don't know how they did it. So it's one person having two identities verified. One of them is fraudulent, the other one is not. This brings another challenge today, or another big question on the verification blindly. Similarly, we've seen with what happened with X, Twitter, previously, that they verified accounts where actually they're not authentic. So Instagram is falling in the same trap. So be careful, even if the account is verified. How far can one think? I think it's something beyond our mentality to concentrate on. So we have Future Cities Summit happening in Kuwait soon, ICBM Expo also in September, in the Festival Arena Dubai, Future Cities also in Riyadh. We're seeing a big action of events. We're having the Future Bank Summit soon. Also, the CSIS Cybersecurity Innovation Series and the Digital Transformation Summit. What we've seen also, I was involved today by the team. Actually, they updated me. We are seeing a huge spark in events in September and October. Maybe into a certain point, double of what it was last year. So that brings a indicator of how the region is actually moving and how COVID is actually becoming something out of the past. Today, also in the news that Dubai is all-time high as previously as pre-COVID times in terms of tourism. So we're done with COVID times, locked, and so many other problems. We can focus on going forward and move forward. So with that, let me go for the news and hand it over to Tay. Tay, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Rudy. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to week 32 of 2023. In this episode of Crypto Talks, we are going to cover 5 major news that happened last week. As usual, we start with a brief intro on the status of the crypto markets. So, according to CoinGecko today, we're looking at a total market cap of $1.2 trillion. Uh, According to Glassnode as well, the volatility in this week and the past week has been shallow. It was not very intense as we used to see in Bitcoin. So perhaps Glassnode was saying is stability coming to Bitcoin according to the latest data where volatility have been really low. Bitcoin price is fluctuating between 29,700 to 29,600 for the past whole week. There has been no major drivers for the price uptick or downfall either. It is interesting to notice that I'm looking at Ripple because since 3 weeks now, and they have won this case against the SEC in selling their tokens directly to retail investors. Ripple went down 5% from last week till this week. Litecoin as well went down by 5% from the day of the Litecoin halving, and the rest of the market was relatively stable with nothing to mention in price changes. Even coins that usually carried volatility like Dogecoin, Cardano, Solana, they relatively stayed on their positions. The Bitcoin dominance in the market is still 47%. And as we always say, when the Bitcoin dominance is high in the market, this means the altcoins are either not moving or they are bleeding. Until the Bitcoin dominance drops in the crypto markets, then we can see a surge in price in other altcoins. Now, why people prefer to see a surge in altcoin than Bitcoin? Because usually alternative coins or altcoins, they have a higher percentage on when they rise with a higher percentage than when Bitcoin does. So for this week 32, we all heard about the PayPal news. PayPal is launching its own stablecoin in collaboration with Paxos. We heard about Paxos, or the name Paxos is familiar because this company was helping Binance in issuing its stablecoin as well. And now PayPal is using the same company to issue its stablecoin, and the ticker or the sign for this stablecoin will be PYUSD. Why the question PayPal is entering the stablecoins space is because they want, and as their CEO was mentioning, that they want to they want to be on track record to deliver new experiences to customers and to provide the foundation necessary to contribute to the growth of digital payments through PayPal USD. So they believe in the payments payment space, and they believe that crypto will be a major part of this space. And when we say crypto, specifically stable coins. Now, will the regulator like this move or not? We are seeing regulators in the US who are voicing their support for such initiative. And as one of the US lawmakers was saying, that this is a clear announcement that stablecoins, if issued under a clear regulatory framework, they can hold a promise as the 21st century payment system. And this was from the North Carolina Congressman Patrick McHenry, who's also acting as a chairman of the House Financial Services Committee. So this is I believe, a good advancement for stable coins in the market, especially in the United States, because this is where the activity of crypto has been dropping or has been retracing in the past few months. Our second big news for this week was the FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt around Huobi. Huobi is one of the top exchanges and one of the old exchanges as well in the crypto economy. They saw their stable coin reserves draw down by 30%, with some rumors on their executives being arrested. Again, there is fear, uncertainty, and doubt, or a FUD around Huobi, whether really their executives have been arrested by the Chinese authorities or not. And since then, they have seen a drop or a dip in their stablecoin exchange balances, dipping to 33%. Huobi holds most of its tokens in its own exchange token, HT, and in Tron. It's backed up by Justin Sun and the number of companies that Justin has launched. So this is why they as well have a big exposure on TRX or on Tron tokens. So 26.5 of the exchange holdings are in Tron. 20% of the holdings are in HT or Huobi token. The interesting thing about this is, as an exchange, you can see the reserves of, or as a customer or a consumer or a client, you can see the reserves of the exchange. You can do your own analysis on whether these uh, basket or distribution is healthy, yes or no, unlike a bank, which is very difficult to get and verify and validate this data. So thanks to the openness of blockchain technology today in the finance world, we are able to verify and validate such news that come up, like Huobi having a drawback in 33% with their stablecoin exchange balances. WorldCoin was one of the things that we covered as well in our past episodes. The police has raided their offices in Nairobi in Kenya, citing privacy and misinterpretation of their business when they applied for a subsidiary company in Kenya. So, WorldCoin, which is a project run by the founder of OpenAI, Sam Altman, who is championing today the cause of identity and financial inclusion at the cross section of WorldCoin, where he is telling people, "Give me your iris scan, and I will give you a free token." People lined up in Nairobi in Kenya at their office to give their iris scans, but the regulator and the privacy watchdog in Kenya was afraid that there will be major privacy concerns when people are just exchanging their irises for a payment. So they raided their offices, they confiscated the data, and this ball or this device that people were lining up to was as well confiscated from the warehouse. One of the most important major developments that we were following last week, and we will continue to follow in the days to come later, was the hack against Coinspade. Coinspade is one of the oldest as well crypto payment processing companies. They were hacked a few weeks ago, approximately like around July 22nd. The amount of money that was hacked, approximately $40 million. But it was a job that pointed fingers to the Lazarus Group. Lazarus Group is famous, sorry, for their hacks of Sony, when they leaked the whole employee data sheet, their families, their salaries, emails, addresses, everything related to Sony. This was in 2014 or 2016, if I'm not mistaken. It's 2014. They're as well famous for their operation in 2013, when they had Operation Troy to target government websites in the United States and in South Korea. There was 2017 as well, the WannaCry ransomware that attacked worldwide in May 2017, to be specific, that targeted computers running on Microsoft, and you had to pay a ransom in Bitcoin. And now we're hearing about Lazarus Group again. after Axie Infinity hack, $625 million, Horizon Bridge hack, $100 million, Atomic Wallet hack, $100 million. This is one of the largest hacks for this year, with $37 to $40 million that were basically exploited from CoinSpade. There was a full report on how did this happen. I want to summarize it for you. According to the report, it took around 6 months for this attack to be prepared and executed. The hackers, they tried to do multiple ways in order to gain access to the systems of CoinSpade. They failed until they presented themselves as a recruiter, and they targeted their top engineers in the company with salaries that were around $24,000 to $50,000, and they lured their engineers to download a software that was part of a test or part of an exam to see whether you will take the job or not. This made the hackers to create orders and do transactions. They did not hack the hot wallet of CoinSpade, but they were able to trick the employees into making payments. And once those payments were made, they were discovered eventually in a short period of time, and the tracking and the tracing of those USDT started. They were not able to recover the amount, at least not all of it. Some of the money was frozen immediately because within the 60 minutes that followed the hack, CoinSpade and another partner that works in the cybersecurity industry, and the platform is called, I believe, Match. So Match, CoinSpade, and some government entities, they were able to track the USDT payments. They were able to freeze some of those amounts, but a large portion of the amount was already processed and laundered. Basically, through Avalanche C chain, there is some swapping services that you can use there to swap your USDT from one chain to another. So this was used, and at the end, the Lazarus group, of course, is associated to North Korea, and there is much reports out there that show Lazarus group is using cryptocurrencies to fund the North Korean government with foreign currency. So when the North Korean government wants to access foreign currency, they're using the Lazarus group to hack platforms like CoinSpade, collect those USDT, and use them for malicious purposes. Mainly is to fund their nuclear program. What are the lessons that are learned from this hack? CoinSpade, they shared 12 lessons here. One that we personally follow at Flus is to reduce the availability of the funds of the operation of the company to the necessary minimum. So don't put a lot of money on hot wallets. And you should not ignore cybersecurity risks or attempts to break into your company's infrastructure. In the case of CoinSpade, they tried 6 months to break into the infrastructure. They were social engineering many times their way in. So this means they will present themselves as service providers. They even presented themselves one time as a Ukrainian company who is selling payment infrastructure, and they did like a technical analysis for CoinSpade, explaining to employees as well how such attacks happen using fake job offers, bribing, and even sometimes asking for a harmless tech advice to access the company's infrastructure. And there should be always security practices for privileged users. So those are the few lessons out there to learn from CoinSpade. But this will not be, of course, the last attack today in the crypto space, because we are seeing as well an attack on the KYC and identity part of crypto, where exchanges are falling victim of basically AI deepfakes. And Binance CZ, Binance represented by CZ, and his security team, they took on Twitter to extensively talk about the latest AI deepfake trends, where you're able to send a verified video, perhaps of a listing manager at a exchange, and you will be tricked into paying the listing fee, thinking that you're talking, for example, to CZ, but actually you're talking to a deepfake of him. And the deepfake can trick you to pay money either for a listing fee or for something else, and basically the money will be gone. But this will as well have an effect on the KYC processes, because now you can um, overlap, or you can just cross over your real identity and use a deep fake or an AI deep fake to create the same data. So this was majorly the news for this week, Rudy. It is mainly about, the direction we're seeing in the crypto space, especially with stable coins, how they're becoming more and more embedded in payments, in transfers, in our day-to-day lives. And at the same time, the malicious activities, whether it's hacking, stealing coins, $5 wrench attacks, these are as well continuing to evolve in this space, leveraging new techniques, leveraging new ideas. So this is a sign that this space is still growing. It's still early, and there is nothing to be sad or afraid that we are missing the train. We're still at early stages.
Very interesting. Thank you. We have a couple of questions. Japan, hi Hani, long time. Japan will allow banks dealing in XRP by year 2025. I think XRP is now becoming more and more institutional, so that's something good, regardless of the price fluctuation. That's not just what we want. It's a very interesting thing that Japan has ruled
Absolutely.
also,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
and that will bring it more towards the SWIFT competition, because that's another thing under the hood.
True. Since day one, Ripple was positioning itself as the crypto favorite, or bank's crypto
Friendly.
bank's crypto favorite, or crypto friendly for the banks. So it had its intention was not to bring a new financial order but to complement banks on what they're doing and to support their infrastructure. So logically, when they won the retail case with the SEC, and previously to that time, Japan is positioning itself as a crypto hub as well. That's why we saw Binance and many exchanges active back in the Japanese market. So Binance closed most of its subsidiaries in Europe. We're talking about Germany, Netherlands, Belgium, and they're having some troubles in France. But in Italy, Germany, Belgium, Netherlands, Binance is limited or restricted, and it withdrew its application from Germany, and at the same time, it got its approval in Japan and in Dubai. So this will be beneficial for most of the tokens that are on those exchanges, including Ripple.
Yeah, and another notice is that Coinbase officially launched its base decentralized blockchain. I think this is quite delayed, similar to Binance blockchain network, but better late than never.
هذا بنقلها بالعربي صح النوم.
Marie Clément says, amazing or interesting episode. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
And lastly, by Elias, is Ledger still thinking to off-store the keys?
No, Ledger they went back. They apologized from the community,
They woke up. They
and
woke up.
I believe they put a temporary pause on that intention to extract keys from the ledger, from the wallet. But there are many contenders today in the space as well, in the hardware wallets and in the non-custodial wallets. So always be sharp, always be alert, and voice your concern in crypto, because companies do listen and they do serve what is in the interest of their customers.
Thank you, Tay. Don't forget to follow Tay on Floos, and then support also their mission. Here we go. It's down here. So, Tay, if you have any last words.
Last words for today. Again, PayPal, this should not be taken lightly. PayPal is a huge company with a big user base. Exposure to stable coins could mean in the future exposure to more cryptocurrencies. The fear of stable coins is slowly going away. We were so many institutions, governments, people, communities, they were voicing their fear and concern of stable coins. Today, this fear is gradually going away. With PayPal entering the stable coin race, there will be some major developments in the payment space and in the crypto space specifically for the weeks and years to come.
Interesting. Thank you, Tay. Thank you all for being with us. And see you next week.